Welcome to the GTV Caribbean News. I am Sean Rose. U.S. President Barack Obama took time out to tour the Bob Marley Museum in Jamaica after becoming the first U.S. president to visit the country since 1982. To the strains of the late reggae star's One Love, Obama was shown around the sprawling house in Kingston that was Marley's final home. The U.S. president said he was a fan of the musician, telling his museum guide, "I still have all the albums." Obama visited Jamaica to meet leaders of the 15-member Caribbean community bloc CARICOM. But his first stop after landing in Kingston was the old Victorian-style house in central Kingston that Marley called home between 1975 and his death in 1981. Obama spent 20 minutes in the museum, which now houses artifacts from the singer's life, including gold records and his Grammy Lifetime Achievement Award. His arrival aboard Air Force One on Wednesday made him the first sitting U.S. president to set foot in the country since Ronald Reagan visited 33 years ago. He was greeted by Jamaican Prime Minister Portia Simpson Miller and the U.S. Ambassador to Jamaica, Luis Moreno. Obama met representatives of the 15 countries in CARICOM on the 3-day trip to Jamaica and Panama to discuss energy and security issues.
Greetings, Massive. Hey. Wagwan, Jamaica. Can everybody please give Aubrey a big round of applause for the great introduction? I want to thank the University of the West Indies for hosting us. Big up, UE. Thank you. Yeah, I've been making myself at home here. It is great to be in beautiful Jamaica. Not only because I'm proud to be the first president of the United States to visit in more than 30 years, but because I just like the vibe here.
The Summit of the Americas got going on Friday, and all eyes zoomed in to see whether a historic meeting would occur between U.S. President Barack Obama and Cuban President Raul Castro on the sidelines. The last time a U.S. president and his Cuban opposite number met was over 60 years ago. The BBC's John Sopel went to Havana to see what Cubans make of the sudden thaw in relations.
It is today a little piece of paradise. It's also where American-Cuban relations went horribly wrong. This is the Bay of Pigs. Gregorio Moreira was in the trenches successfully fighting off the CIA-backed rebels. 54 years on, he and his friends only want friendship with Barack Obama and the American people. I would say to Obama, we love you like we love Fidel and Raul. I will tell all Americans when they come that we will receive them with open arms.
The Red Lincoln Continental, it's a very rare car to find anywhere.
And the Americans are coming. These Californian car enthusiasts are here to marvel at the living motor museum that is Havana. 1950s Chevys, Buicks and Studebakers everywhere you go. Today the Americans are here to look, but how long before it's to buy?
One of the concerns that I have as an American citizen is that there are going to be people who will want to come down here and find those cars that you just don't see that are not available and attempt to buy them and bring them back home.
But from this former palace seized by Castro is Cuba's main weapon in the battle for exports. Torpedoes of the cigar variety. Post-revolution, this became a factory where even today every cigar is still hand-rolled. And from where they'll be delighted to conquer the $3 billion a year American market that's been shut off to them for more than half a century.
There is a passion. They want to smoke Cuban cigars. The future is clear, the future is amazing, but we know we have to work. We have to work hard to get one part of the US market.
Economic progress, though, may come at a price. It's likely that these fabulous bits of 1950s Americana will be shipped back to the States. But what if they're replaced by the American brands of the 21st century, the Starbucks, the McDonald's and the hotel chains? Yes, Cuba may have got richer, But will it have lost some of its individuality, some of its soul?
The person who might soon be wrestling with this problem is Geraldo Hernandez. He's being described as Cuba's Mandela. Imprisoned for 16 years in the US for espionage, he was released at Christmas and is being tipped to succeed Raul Castro as president.
It is certainly a danger we are facing. We can see what is happening right now in many small countries that are, let's say, penetrated by big corporations and most American corporations. I certainly hope that that's something that won't happen in Cuba.
St. Lucia's Ministry of Health joined the global community in marking World Health Day on April 7th under the theme, Food Safety from Mouth to Plate. The theme seeks to raise awareness and promote preventative action throughout the food chain to combat the issue of food and waterborne illnesses affecting millions annually. More in this report from HTS News Force.
Become increasingly globalized, the need to strengthen food safety systems in and between all countries is more pertinent. This World Health Day, the World Health Organization is promoting food safety from the farm to the plate. Given the increase in confirmed cases of gastroenteritis here, the global observance is timely. The island's chief medical officer says all licensed food establishments should meet certain food requirement standards. Dr. Merlin Fredericks says, in keeping with the theme, the Ministry of Health is supplying the public with the names of various certified organizations.
The ministry plans on publishing a list of the licensed food establishments. We may not have the legislative authority right now to publish the non-licensed ones, but certainly we think it would be important so that the public can know that they're being assured of some form of service and quality when they go to those places. But we also encourage persons to be aware. When you go into a food establishment, look for the public health license. The public health license should be displayed in a place that's easily visible.
Dr. Fredericks encourages people to purchase locally grown foods.
The dashin and the yam, the banana, plantain, the locally produced poultry or chicken, all of those foods are healthier, and if we consume them in the appropriate amounts, they can actually protect us from developing non-communicable diseases like diabetes and hypertension and the like. When we think of farm, we're also thinking of the process used to actually produce and grow the foods. And the Ministry of Health is encouraging persons as much as possible to go into organic farming.
The CMO says the process of transporting the food from the farm to supermarkets for sale is also very important, as food can be contaminated along the way if not kept at the right temperature. She says people must also be careful and take every precaution when preparing foods.
Statistics actually show that the majority of foodborne illnesses or contamination of food happens during preparation of the food. Raw foods which are eaten raw like lettuce and tomatoes, etc., should not be prepared in the same place or whilst we're also dealing with raw meat or poultry, because the raw food, the food that we eat raw, can actually be contaminated by all of these, things that come from the meat, etc.
Globally, over 582 million people fall ill and more than 350,000 die annually from foodborne illnesses. Jade Brown, HTS News Force.
Business leaders from 18 countries and the territories of the Caribbean will meet in Miami on April 16 to 17 to discuss the challenges posed by anti-money laundering regulation. Board directors, presidents, and CEOs of the largest regulated businesses from 13 industries have confirmed their participation. According to Michelle Martin, organizer of the Caribbean Anti-Money Laundering Conference, it is the first time so many heads of enforcement agencies will gather in a single location to engage business leaders. Former Guyana President Barrett Jagdeo is among candidates nominated by the ruling People's Progressive Party to contest the May 11th general and regional elections in that country. Jagdeo, who served as head of state from 1999 to 2011, had in the past indicated that he would not be contesting the elections. According to the PPP, led by President Donald Ramota, there are 450 candidates representing virtually all communities in Guyana and 138 candidates for the 65 seats in Parliament. The Coalition Alliance of A Partnership for National Unity, APNU, and the Alliance for Change, AFC, which is the main challenger to the PPP, has also submitted its list of candidates to contest the polls. Presidential candidate for the Coalition Alliance and opposition leader David Granger told Demerara Waves Online News that he is surprised at Jagdeo's nomination. Other parties that presented list of candidates were United Republican Party, the United Force, and the Theocracy Party. That's it for this week's edition of the JTV Caribbean News. I am Sean Rose.
And coming up next on JTV News, highlights from the Virgin Gorda Easter Festival, including the Calypso competition and the parade. Plus, Leandro Nibs hands over the sloop he built from scratch to the Virgin Islands Studies Institute at the BVI Spring Regatta Awards ceremony.